Pleased to be back home, number one. There's no doubt about that. It seems to be that when we go away, we're away for a period of time, and I'm sure there's some issues with scheduling at First Tennessee that affects that. But delighted to be back. We come back into town, a confident group after a very decent 4-game run away from home with 3 victories in there. So, the guys are happy about that. And they look in a good place. They look confident. I do honestly think that the mindset in this group now is to reinforce that form and to make sure that, whatever happens from now on out, we're as productive at home as we can be. We've proved that our away form can be of a decent level. We've certainly got to bring our own form
towards the top of the table, and not so much at home this year. How do you correct that and potentially translate that away form to First Tennessee Park?
It would be easy for me to say, look, this is what we need to do, and that's how we need to do it, and that'll get it done. It just sadly doesn't work that way. What you tend to find, as I've said before, when you're at home, teams will come in with a slightly different mentality, and our challenge is to make sure that in as many ways as possible we can replicate some of the qualities away from home. And when I say that, it's not always as easy as it seems, because the game opens up away from home. The pressure's not on us to force the game, and teams tend to be a little bit more positive and open-minded when they are playing at home. The reinforcements for us are, can we control the game with the ball? Are we able to create opportunities? A glut of goal-scoring moments last weekend, which are fresh in our mind. But on the back end of that, there's certainly an area of our game with such dominance in territorial advantage, where the focus from one or two of the defensive players just to deny any counter-attacking moments and to really put any seed of positivity completely out of the minds of the group that's coming in. And this is not just Ottawa. This is an ongoing challenge. You've seen many times at all levels where teams have got good control of the game and they get done with a sucker punch. Teams counter-attack well, and out of the sort of face of victory, you end up losing or drawing a game. So there are 2 or 3 areas that we're focused on. But reinforcement of some of the good moments that we've had thus far is uppermost in our mind.
You guys had a ton of success on the flanks in Ottawa. Are you expecting that they've kind of changed something up to kind of rectify that when you face them again this weekend?
Well, I think the things that have changed with this group, for the most part, and as I said it yesterday to a couple of people, is the confidence that has grown in the way that the season has unfolded from. They're a side that take great pride in keeping the ball. Nicola's done a wonderful job in setting a technical standard in this group, and when they've got the ball, they're bloody difficult to get it back off of. So, us trying to control portions of the game, I think, will be detrimental for them. Some of their weakest areas are when they've got to defend for periods of time. So certainly want to take advantage of that. But in terms of changing anything, I think they'll be mindful of what happened. If he's not, then that would be strange. I would think the players, having been on a good run, 8 unbeaten, will be looking at their last defeat, which was us, and saying, well, we need to show slightly better than that. And I'm sure they want to keep this run going. So whatever it takes to try and get a result at our place, I'm sure that will be paramount for the manager and for the players.
Ottawa's been one of the better defensive sides in at least the Eastern Conference. I believe only 2 teams have conceded less, and you guys are on a pretty good stretch in the attacking third. How do you see that matchup playing out?
Well, I honestly think their defensive record is based around having the ball. I'm not saying that they're not capable defensively, because they are, but if you look at their stats, they maintain the ball longer than any other team in the league. They pass the ball more than any other team in the league, which means they got the ball more, or certainly for longer periods. So the key for us is to take the ball back. The more we can have it, I think the less that they grow in confidence, and certainly we can exploit one or two areas of their team that I do believe we're capable of doing. But you've got to have the ball, and they're going to make it tough for us. You know, they are a good footballing team, and they're very confident. But you know, we're also looking to get ourselves or to keep ourselves on a good run, and to reinforce some of our recent form. It should be an excellent game.
Coach was also curious too about your thoughts on the Gold Cup being in Nashville, and also Nashville becoming a soccer town.
Well, the Gold Cup being here, you know, having, I think it's a semi-final, am I right? I don't know if there's been a way of determining whether or not the US would come here if they're in the semi-final, of course. We would all hope that they are. It only galvanises what goes on with professional soccer. If it was the US, I think it would be great for a lot of the community. However, I'm sure there are lots of individuals, be it Mexico in town. You'd like to think that they're the two big names that are going to make the semi-finals. They're big attractions. You'd love to see a big crowd. I think it just continues to build this momentum for us, for sure, in the city of moving towards MLS. As far as having pro soccer in Nashville, I think it's something that the community's been waiting for a long time. If you look at the way that the youth organisations are growing, if you look at the support that we get, certainly looking back at the ICC and the Gold Cup, I think it was 2 years ago now. You know, we had some wonderful crowds. There was some terrific support, and that really did kickstart what we've had, which has been, you know, some terrific games, some great support. I think we've built some wonderful memories, and you know, in any professional sport, be it international or domestic, I think those memories are what everyone's after, for good and bad. Hopefully for good. You want to see those last-minute goals. You want to see victories and heroes being made, and individuals that supporters can really get behind and maybe connect with. I think our guys have done a great job of that. But when you see the internationals come into town, it does likewise. It just builds that appetite for all supports.